first of all, I would just say this, right? It's a good song. It's a good song. And of course, it's better than most of the stuff that has been dropping. We already know that. We do know that. Everything was good except that one line. Okay.
We got to talk about the 500-pound pink elephant in the room. The best alive. You dig? But anytime you say that, I don't care how you feel. I don't care what comment you're going to type. Yeah, that's just, it feels tone deaf.
Well, J. Cole just dropped a snippet for his new album, The Fall Off. It seems like the masses aren't going to like this whatsoever. We haven't gotten the album. We haven't gotten more than one track. We haven't even gotten the track list yet. And it seems people are already showing signs of writing off the entire album. My prediction is that this album is going to be completely ridiculed and shamed out of existence. And that's unfortunate because an album you worked on for 10 years will be thrown to the side simply because you can't escape the shadow of one particular rapper or one particular situation. If there's anything I know about psychology, it's the fact that this is a textbook way for resentment to build, and no matter how good the song is, one line can ruin the whole thing. No matter how good the album is, you will always be compared to the one who everyone believes is better, and your every line and writing decision will be analyzed almost solely to see what you say about that particular rapper or situation. If J. Cole was fed up about the fact that people were thirsty to see him beef before, he's gonna have a rough time after this album comes out, because his lines will be even more dissected in order to find any subliminals thrown at Kendrick specifically. When people don't like you or lose respect for you, there really is nothing you can do correctly in their eyes. It really is true that losing respect is a huge deal in real life and especially online.
Especially two men that have something to lose. But egos can get at play. Audiences can get at play to stoke the fire. But this is sort of the unintended consequences of threatening somebody or calling somebody out and then you not following through on it is that that person then knows where your boundaries are, and they may lose respect because you didn't take it to that next ante, to that next level beyond that. So within these confrontations, if you take it to the threat of violence, do not threat without wanting to get busy, for real. Because if you stand down from that enforcement, then respect may be lost. Now,
and firstly, I want to say I thoroughly enjoyed the song. I listened to it a few times and I love the production on it. I originally didn't even notice that Best Rapper Alive line in the first few listens, and it was only after I had went to see other people react to it when it was brought to my attention that he had said that. I think this album is going to be great, but I do not think this album is going to be received well whatsoever. So I honestly just want to go through some common arguments I've heard about J. Cole ever since he released this and shed light on another perspective.
If someone kept saying they was the best fighter and they're the number one fighter, Floyd Mayweather is saying he's the number one fighter, and then when it's time to fight and they back down and Floyd is still standing, no, you're not the number one fighter.
So this is a common sentiment that I hear a lot, and I want to address it because I think it lacks a bit of nuance. So firstly, being the greatest doesn't mean you have to battle anyone. I've said it before in the past, but a lot of some of the greatest rappers alive have never been in a battle. Rappers like Black Thought, any of the Wu-Tang members, MF Doom, and hell, before the battle, Kendrick was considered one of the greatest. It goes to show that battling has never been a factor when discussing who was the greatest. Just because I don't choose to fight you doesn't mean I can't beat you in a fight. This girl will go on to talk about how people are having revisionist history about J. Cole, and, well, what's wrong with that? Revisionist history is necessary for making sure new facts and interpretations are accounted for when discussing historical events to help provide as much context as possible and help interpret these events as accurately as possible. So you want to be very careful about people like this who don't appreciate or don't want to actually have discussions about topics like this, because oftentimes people like that have agendas and narratives that they want to push. So having the ability to go back add more context or nuance based on newfound information or interpretations oftentimes offends them because it creates opportunity for their narratives to be exposed and countered.
And you yourself said, well, there is no debate. I think everything is debatable. I think everything at least should be debated. And if the evidence is very one-sided, let the evidence speak.
If it's the case that it's so undebatable, then let the evidence speak for itself. Everything should be able to be debated. If you aren't willing to have these discussions, then you have to wonder why. I'm not saying she's doing this, I'm just saying it's very common. But even looking at what she said, if J. Cole versus Kendrick is no longer debatable by the metric of J. Cole not responding or backing out of the beef, then by that metric, nobody should ever say Biggie is better than Tupac, because when Tupac dissed Biggie, Biggie never responded. You'd even have to apply that to Kendrick to a degree, because on the Control verse, Kendrick calls out the rap game, and when he declared himself the king of New York, Joey Badass, who was from New York, comes out and Kendrick didn't respond. He didn't respond to Lupe and many others. If you believe Kendrick didn't have to respond in those instances, then this is where the real nuance comes in, because it suggests then that even if you come out and declare you're the best alive, if a rapper comes out and declares you aren't and challenges those statements, you are not obligated to respond. And there are still instances where if you don't respond, it's okay. So then the next question is, when is it necessary to respond? Why was it necessary for Cole to respond there? Why was it necessary for him to respond there given everything I just said? Why is J. Cole being held to the fire for his decision to back away when other rappers like Biggie have done the same thing and he still gets put in the top 10?
Mafia wanted to do a song. Kim wanted to do a song.
Even I was like, yo, let's go. Do something.
Big was like, yo, if anyone of y'all doing response records, I'm not messing with you no more. Do not do that. That's not what we do.
He was like, nah, I know where this is going. I'm not gonna feed into that energy. That's not the sort of energy that I want.
Sorry about that clip, by the way. I couldn't find the original source material for it. I believe it's from a documentary that's also behind a paywall. But anyway, the real reason why this album won't be received well is because the masses are developing a comparison mindset when it comes to Cole. They won't see the album as a J. Cole album experience. They're going to see it as a, can he make a better album than Kendrick? Or is he going to do something that either addresses Kendrick, the battle, or is he going to do something better than Kendrick entirely kind of moment? This is a comparison mindset that kills dreams, kills ideas, the desire to be anything ambitious, step out of your comfort zone, and be great just overall. Nothing is good enough when all you do is compare yourself to the next man, which is exactly what will water down this album experience for everyone.
Pay attention to. This is the first thing that I saw, and I'm just like, bro, like, do you want to listen to no one else? I get why, if you listen to Kendrick Lamar, you might think to yourself, why would I need to listen to J. Cole? But at the same time, it's like, who thinks about the artists in that way?
Right. What exactly is this tweet even supposed to be trying to convey? That because Kendrick is better, you don't listen to Cole? I'm not sure, but whatever it's trying to convey, it accurately represents the exact mindset people are going into this album with. People like this speak this way when addressing J. Cole, but will still listen to the fall off with this mindset, ultimately watering down the experience for them and ruining the album. You have to ask yourself, do you like rap or do you just like Kendrick? Are you excited for the album, or are you excited for the potential narratives that the album can create involving things that you are interested in? Do you want to actually listen to a good album, or are you looking to see where you can compare J. Cole to someone else?
I was happy that he was popping out. I was looking forward to what he was going to say, if he was going to address the beef again.
If your mindset going into this album is anything akin to, I want to see what he says about the battle or Kendrick, then you've already ruined the album for yourself, because you have subconsciously trained your mind to seek specific lyrics and signs that could be interpreted in a type of way, You will overlook quality or small details that make the album a better experience overall. And you damn sure will be hyper vigilant on any quote unquote mistakes he makes in his writing or even production. So, in other words, you won't really be listening to the album. If you're going to go into this album with the kind of mindset that I had mentioned earlier, you're better off not even listening to the album. And I urge you to see this rollout and album as an opportunity to find quality music like you would for any other artist, not as something that you hope will surpass anyone or any album in particular. This mentality goes for Cole fans as well. If you're a Cole fan hoping he does something on this album that catapults him to be greater than those he's often compared to, you may be going into this album with the wrong ears. If you're a rap purist, you're going into this album with the idea that everything must be the way you feel it should be from a traditional rap sense. I urge you to be a little bit more open-minded while listening to this album. For all of us, expect nothing but desire something great. This is how you accept something given to you properly. This is how you fully embrace what comes your way. Outside of that, I have nothing else to really say about this rollout other than I'm excited about the album. J. Cole always drops good music, and I'm glad to hear from him on an entire album again. I fear this may be his last album before retiring, and if it is, he had a great run, a great feature run, great albums, and I respect his ambitious intent and ability to put himself and his art out there for scrutiny. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, please comment, like, and subscribe.